to the countries of the Middle East. Earlier, Iran's military said the Strait of Hormuz has been shut again just days after reopening it because of continuing Israeli attacks on Hezbollah positions in southern Lebanon. However, US Central Command maintains the waterway remains open. Talks between Iran and the US are set to take place in Switzerland tomorrow. The federal government is winding back its discounts for the fuel excise after 3 months of relief for motorists. Isabella Tolhurst reports.
The government's discount on the fuel excise will remain in place until August, but motorists won't receive the same savings. The 50% cut to the excise, which reduced 32 cents off each litre of petrol, will be halved to a 16 cent per litre reduction. The heavy vehicle road user charge, which was free under the government's rebate, will also now cost 16 cents per litre. Both measures were meant to expire on the 30th of June, but the government says it recognises people are still under pressure from the cost of living. The month-long extension will cost the government $400 million.
Victoria's pig farming body is urging farmers to be on alert and review their biosecurity plans following the detection of a deadly bird flu on the other side of the country. Meg Whitfield reports.
Australia was the last continent in the world without the deadly H5 influenza strain, but the country's first confirmed case has been recorded in Western Australia after a migratory bird was found near death on a remote beach near Esperance. The president of the Victorian Farmers Federation, Ryan Milgate, says while it's not time to panic, vigilance is important, with farmers at the front line.
We're really just making sure that everyone's got their biosecurity plans in place and are prepared if it does happen to get a bit closer.
He says there could be severe impacts if the disease were to reach Victoria.
People who bought into ambitious plans for the tallest building in Australia are calling for their deposits to be refunded after the project stalled amid financial trouble. Jesse Thompson has the story.
At 365 metres, the tower would soar beyond anything ever attempted in Melbourne. Hundreds of apartment buyers put down deposits for off-the-plan contracts. Years later, the site in Southbank is barely touched after the project struggled to secure construction financing amid sector-wide cost increases. But customer deposits remain locked in a trust under 10-year sunset clauses, and they could be withheld if receivers now selling the site find a buyer who wants to revive the project. In a statement, property developer Bueller said it was committed to working with stakeholders to deliver a positive outcome for everyone involved.
3 senior officials from Ukraine, including President Volodymyr Zelensky's chief of staff, have announced their returning awards bestowed by Poland. It's the latest development in a deepening spat between the two countries after the Ukrainian leader caused outrage last month by renaming an army unit after a Ukrainian paramilitary organization which is accused of massacring Poles during World War II. On Friday, the Polish president responded by announcing he was stripping Mr. Zelensky of Poland's highest honor, the Order of the White Eagle. Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk has also criticized the Ukrainian president.
President Zelensky realizes that these decisions concerning our shared history and the glorification of the UPA by naming military units after them are things that will not be accepted in Poland, regardless of party affiliation. It was a mistake, and it is needlessly exposing us all to emotional turmoil.
Relations between US President Donald Trump and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni have worsened after Mr. Trump repeated claims that she begged him to take a selfie at the G7 summit in France. Tim Wharton reports.
The diplomatic stance started this week after Ms. Meloni accused the American president of fabricating a story about her after the US president told an Italian television channel that she had begged him to take a photo with her at the G7 summit in France. Italian Prime Minister hit back, saying she would never beg Mr. Trump to do anything. In a post on Truth Social, Mr. Trump has repeated his claim that Giorgia Meloni requested a photo with him and accused her of not supporting US efforts to end Iran's nuclear program. Trump went on to claim Ms. Meloni is doing poorly in popularity ratings in Italy because of her stand on Iran. The president has also claimed Ms. Meloni is now trying to improve relations after what he has described as a US military success against Iran.
A Spanish court has ordered the wife of Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez to stand trial on corruption charges and has banned her from leaving the country. The BBC's Jonathan Fruin reports.
The judge in the case has ordered Begoña Gomez to check in with the authorities twice a month until a verdict is reached, though no trial date has yet been set. Ms. Gomez denies the charges, which include embezzlement and influence peddling. The case originated from a complaint filed by an anti-corruption group with far-right ties. The Socialist Party wrote on social media that the Prime Minister's wife was innocent and claimed she had been subjected to judicial and political persecution for 2 years. Pedro Sanchez has dismissed the allegations as an attempt to undermine his government.
Back home, Melbourne commuters will be able to use their credit card, phone or smartwatch to tap onto the tram network from today. Here's Meg Whitfield again.
Earlier this month, ticketless travel launched on trains after repeated delays to the state's public transport ticketing system overhaul. From today, that will expand further, with full fare commuters on Melbourne's trams also able to ditch their Mighty and instead use their phone, smartwatch or credit card to pay their fare. Buses will get the same capacity next month, but the government is yet to nominate an exact date. Concession card holders, seniors and children must still use a Mighty card. There have been more than 700,000 trips using the tap-and-go technology since the start of June.
Now with sport, here's Mark Adnall.
Collingwood has defeated Port Adelaide at the MCG in round 15 of the AFL. Port lost 3 players to injury during the match and were held goalless in the second half. Collingwood defender Billy Frampton has told ABC Sport that Port's injuries helped his team get the win.
I think when sadly Radically went down, that they were going to be 2 or 3 down, so it was a good chance for us to really use our legs and use our hands to try and expose them sort of fitness-wise, and I think in the end that was proved a big difference for us.
Elsewhere, Carlton has beaten the GWS Giants by 23 points in Sydney, 12-16, 88 to 9-11, 65. And the Crows had a 17-point win over Melbourne at the Adelaide Oval, 11-13, 79 to 9-8, 62. In cricket, Australia has cruised to a 98-run win over the Netherlands in their group match at the Women's T20 World Cup in Southampton. A 101-run partnership between Beth Mooney and Ashley Gardner helped Australia to reach 219, which proved out of reach for the Dutch, who posted just 121 in reply. And in motorsport, Kai Allen has won race 2 of the Supercars event in Darwin.
For the weather, across Victoria, patchy morning fog in the north, partly cloudy with isolated showers over southern and mountain districts, more extensive over East Gippsland this morning. Isolated showers in the north this afternoon. In Melbourne, partly cloudy with chance of morning fog and a slight chance of a shower, a top of 15. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and 14. Right now in Melbourne, it's 10 degrees. ABC News.
It's 7 on Sunday the 21st of June, and from Gadigal Land in Sydney, this is Julian Morrow with you once again. Hello, a very good morning to you and welcome to Sunday Extra. On the program today, we're going to look at what's been described as perhaps the most polarised choice of any election in the world in recent memory. Speaking of polarisation, we'll also bring you the first episode of a new podcast series, The Making of One Nation, in which documentary maker Anna Bronowski today will share what she gleaned from observing Pauline Hanson up close. And on the year that made me, our guest is the writer of 3 of the books that you voted into Radio National's Top 100 Books of the 21st Century. We'll be speaking with author Anna Funder. Plus, we'll cross to Antarctica to hear about the more than chilling preparations for the midwinter swim from the winner of the Australian Antarctic Medal. All that and more is coming up, so I do hope you can stay with us on our end, till 10, for another Sunday Extra. Well, believe it or not, there are some democracies where, unlike the UK and indeed Australia, the leader of the country is directly elected by the voters. And one...
Ja, Americans. Kayak. Ây da, sóng to thế. Nghe trông giống có tiếng sóng vậy. Đang vậy. Nghe trông giống có tiếng. Yeah. Wow, Ok, lên đường.